All right, leaders, Matt here. Thanks for putting up with me and all the changes. We're not meeting tonight, as you know, so I'm doing this video in replacement of our getting together. So I'm wearing the new Real beanie. If you haven't seen these, I'm wearing it mainly because I have hat head. Yeah, I wouldn't be wearing it except for my hair looks crazy. I could wear it like the cool kids. Guys, look, I'm sure. Just kidding. Okay. I don't think he wears a hat like that. I don't look very cool in this, but the teenagers look much cooler with this hat. So, all right, let's not do this too long, but there are some really important details that I want to communicate to you that I feel like would be helpful before we actually get to retreat. So let's just simply start with the schedule. Tomorrow we are meeting at K First at 4 p.m. if you're riding with us. Please be here at 4 p.m. and park your vehicles as close to the highway wall as possible, but then come to the Ministry Center entrance. The goal is to leave by 4:30, so I'm going to need some help to direct parents and students where to go. Devin is coming to help me like do registration, collect money and forms and stuff like that. So she'll be doing that, but I could use some like Kevin and Justin who are driving, and then other guys and girls to help pack the trailer when students come in. I don't even really want their stuff to come in the building. It'd just be nice if it dropped off right by the trailer. So they throw their stuff in, they check in, and then, a couple instructions, pray, and then get out of here by 4:30. So I looked at Google Maps, and it said it was a 2-hour and 45-minute drive today because of like a 20-minute delay and then snow in Grand Rapids. But normally on a non-snowy day, it's an hour 45. So I did prepare for us to get there at 7 and to have dinner right away. We'll unpack, set up for service. We'll have a quick hour worship and teaching. You can look at all of this in the schedule, and then we're going to do a campfire. And then you can look at the next 2 days' schedules. Friday and Saturday, the exact same schedule, just with like different things. But we are on Friday morning, Saturday morning, and Sunday morning going to have an 8 a.m. leadership kind of meeting, prayer, drink our coffee first before all the students arrive kind of conversation. So please, I'll link the schedule again, but just do a quick look through it, and then we'll come back to the schedule in a minute because there's a couple things I gotta mention. So all of you still need a Cran Hill form. Not all of you, but most of you still need to sign a Cran Hill form, not the real one, because Cran Hill wants that. Those will be available tomorrow, but if you have it, bring it. I'm just reading a list here, so bear with me. Jessica is going to be our go-to person during the retreat to run out and get stuff, and so she's going to use her Shipt account. And so if anybody forgets things or students have needed items, gotta go get some tampons or some ibuprofen, or some middle schooler forgot his Axe body spray, we'll send Jessica to get those things. So when we get there, Friday, we may send her out Friday, but we may just wait till Saturday. So, but if there's anything that you need, tell Jessica, and then Jessica will make a list, and she'll make that happen. Okay. We are going to be taking a first aid kit. So just so you know, we'll have first aid kits. We already actually will have ibuprofen, Tums, and Pepto-Bismol. So those things will all be available for when people need them. I was going to just quickly mention our abuse and neglect reporting process. I'll keep it just crazy brief. Usually at retreats and when you're away, students are more in a position where they trust and they are willing to share, information that maybe they wouldn't otherwise share about their past or about current situations. And so to keep our reporting process really simple, it's, hey, if you become aware or you perceive that a student is being abused or neglected, whether you know it 100% for a fact or it's something you just kind of, you're thinking it might be a possibility, the reporting process is simple. You just come and tell me, and then together me and you will take the next step. So, no more than 30 minutes should lapse between you finding out information and then you coming and talking to me at the retreat. So that's the simplest process, and then from there it gets a little more complicated, but we'll do those things together. And for the purposes of now, you don't need to know the whole, how we do it. So, just come and tell me if you hear information that I need to know about, so that we can help students. And that's always a really good thing. It sucks that we learn that kind of stuff, but it gives us opportunity to help students and help families. So that's important. Okay, looking through my list here, we We have a couple, so what we're calling these things is practices, spiritual practices. We're going to try to teach students things to do at retreat that they can do on their own to have a life-giving relationship with Jesus. But we're going to have to help students engage in those. And we're going to be, some of these practices, we want to make sure the students aren't left out. And so I want you to do this fine balance of being with your few and connecting with them and spending, a lot of your time with them, but also just being very aware of, I don't know what to call them, but like fringe students who maybe are left out or not included. And specifically, there is a Saturday afternoon practice that we're using Scrabble letters, and we're teaching students how to pray for each other, and students are going to make a Scrabble letter keychain, like a Scrabble letter word, for a keychain for another student. And it's going to be like a word that they, feel like will bless them or encourage them or remind them to follow Christ. And that practice specifically, with students doing it for other students, I want to make sure that nobody's left out. And so I'm going to be looking to you leaders for that Saturday afternoon practice, the Scrabble letter one, to make a keychain out of Scrabble letters for the students that you think, may not receive as many as maybe another student, or may not receive any. Somebody may not notice them. And that happens from time to time, and that's okay, but that's our job as leaders to kind of be looking out for them. So obviously connect with your few, but make time for these fringe students and be looking out for them. We have a couple scheduled times to be in what Cran Hill calls their game room. Friday morning, 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Friday evening, 9:30 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. And Saturday morning, 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. And so you can see those on your schedule. Friday morning, Friday evening, Saturday morning. Basically, it's like our free times, and the game room is open as one of the free time options. But I want to make sure that we have a leader scheduled in those. And so would 3 leaders please message me or message us in the leadership Slack channel, and would you volunteer to be like, hey, I'll just be in that game room during that time. The one that's on Friday morning is over 2.5 hours, so maybe we should have 2 leaders for that one. So maybe we need 4 leaders total, 2 for Friday morning, 1 for Friday evening, and 1 for Saturday morning that just will say, yeah, I'll hang out in there with my few, just chill, play games, and make sure that room has a leader in it. So and if nobody messaged me, I'll just assign some people. Maybe that's easier, but I just thought I'd give it out. I'll need help once we get to the lodge to help pass out beanies and teas. So there's lots of little opportunities to help and at the retreat. But specifically the first night when we're there, passing out the teas and the beanies, and maybe I'll just pick one female student at the girls area, and then one male. One male leader for the male area, and help pass those out. I'll give you a list, and you know what to do. Looks like Sierra Hayes needs a ride tomorrow too. So if anybody knows that, if you can give Sierra Hayes a ride from Mattawan or ish. We're doing all our meals at the camp, which is great. So we're not doing our own meals this year. That's wonderful. Let me just share for the last minute and a half about my heart for the winter retreat. So no speaker this year. Chris and I are speaking. Chris is going to speak Friday night on rest and stillness, and I'm going to speak Saturday night on communion. The Thursday night one is kind of just an intro and a worship, and Sunday morning will be more celebrations and stories, and then spiritual practices in between each morning and afternoon. But the heart behind this is rest and self-care and quality time with leaders and friends, and then the presence of Jesus, and learning to rest in the reality, person, and presence of Christ. It's my belief that these practices, these practices can become ritual, of course, and they could become meaningless, but it's through some of these meaningful practices and disciplines that we can encounter Christ. And so I want to just try to teach students as many possible ways to encounter Christ. And so that's why we're doing worship with music. That's why we're doing journaling. That's why we do card writing and card stations. That's why we do the nature prayer walk, the Lord's Prayer, meditation, the Scrabble letter thing, taking communion, celebrating together, sharing stories, trying to offer as many different habits and practices that we can encounter Jesus Christ in our normal everyday lives. So I want to teach students those things, and that's the goal of Winter Retreat for this year. So There's a lot more I could say, and I'm sure that I've left some things unsaid. If you have questions, just post them, and I will just answer them. For real, if you have just a couple questions, that'd be great. Post them, and I'll answer them, and everybody can see the answers and make sure I'm not forgetting anything. So pack warm, have all your stuff ready, be here at 4. Yeah. Okay. I think you guys are great. I'm really excited for this weekend, and it's going to be good to be together. So love you guys.